Hello and welcome to another episode of The Word for Kids. I'm Jamie and I'm guiding you through the books of 1st and 2nd Samuel in a series of 20 episodes. Last time we learned about David's heart to build a house for the Lord to dwell in. But instead, God spoke to Nathan concerning David and told him that he would establish a house for David through his offspring, which would endure forever. David spent some time praising God for all that he had done for the Israelites and asking God to do what he had promised for David and his household, as well as to bless him. And that's where we left off last time. Are you ready for today's adventure? Let's go! So David asked if there was anyone still left of Saul's house who he could show kindness to for Jonathan's sake. Remember, Jonathan had been a faithful and true friend to David, and he had made a covenant with him that he would show kindness to him forever. There was a servant of Saul's household named Ziba, and he was summoned to appear before David. David asked Ziba, "Is there no one still alive from the house of Saul to whom I can show God's kindness?" And Ziba answered him, "There is still a son of Jonathan. He is lame in both feet." This means he couldn't use his feet. David asked, "Where is he?" And Ziba replied, "He is at the house of Machir, son of Amiel, in Lo-debar." So David had Jonathan's son, who was named Mephibosheth, brought to him. When he arrived, he bowed down to pay honor to David. David said, "Mephibosheth!" "At your service," he replied. David told him, "Do not be afraid, for I will surely show you kindness for the sake of your father Jonathan. I will restore to you all the land that belonged to your grandfather Saul, and you will always eat at my table." Let's pause right there for today's Word of the Day.
Hello again. It's time for the Word of the Day. Today's word is restore. Restore means to put something back the way it was. Restore.
After David said all these things to him, Mephibosheth bowed down and said, "What is your servant that you should notice a dead dog like me?" David called in Ziba and said to him, "I have given your master's grandson everything that belonged to Saul and his family. You and your sons and your servants are to farm the land for him and bring in the crops, so that your master's grandson may be provided for. And Mephibosheth will always eat at my table." Now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. He said to David the king, "Your servant will do whatever my lord the king commands his servant to do." Mephibosheth had a young son named Micah, and all the members of Ziba's household were servants of Mephibosheth. He lived in Jerusalem because he always ate at the king's table. And that's where our story ends for today. Now it's time for the verse to remember. Today's verse is Psalm 23, 5 and 6. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. One more time. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23, 5 and 6. Today we learned about how David, first of all, kept his promises both to Saul and to Jonathan that he would not wipe out their family and that he would show kindness to them. We also learned about David's compassion for Jonathan's son, who was lame in both feet. He took extra care to be sure he was taken care of, had everything he needed, and always ate with him at the king's table. This completely changed life for Mephibosheth. We may not be able to completely change someone's life who's struggling, but we can do some things to help them have a little better day. If you know someone who has extra challenges in life, talk to a parent or church leader about how you can help. Maybe you can take food or clothing to a homeless shelter, visit an elderly person who can't get out and around anymore, or reach out and be a friend to a child who has a hard time making friends. Be creative and look all around for opportunities to make someone's day better any chance you get. That's all we have for today. I can't wait to see you again for another episode of The Word for Kids.